This is a difficult desert known as Valley Rum on the borders of Jordan.
There is no other place that is more similar to the surface of Mars in terms of its structure. Now we are about to enter a giant city hidden among the mountains in this exotic desert, which is deceptively unnoticed at first glance.
It has circulated in languages as a legend for more than 1,000 years. According to some, it is the place where Islam first spread.
According to some, the center of all religions, the only ones who knew about it were the Bedouin Arabs wandering in the desert. According to the legend told among the people of the region, the people living in Petra, which means crying city in Arabic, decamped because they did too much evil and were destroyed by big earthquakes.
For this reason, the city was ominous, and from time to time it could be dangerous to go there because of the noise that would drive people crazy, but the truth is actually much more mysterious. Swiss explorer John Burckhardt, who heard the legend that it was a lost city, realized that Petra was unlike anywhere else when he discovered it in 1812. Neither he nor other archaeologists could believe that a people from BC could build such an unusual city. An Arab tribe called the Nabataeans lived in Petra, but it is still a mystery how this nomadic community dealing with livestock from the deserts of Saudi Arabia could build such a complex structure. Stonemasons did such things that there were dams, waterways, underground tunnels, amphitheaters, even mazes that turned into paradoxes.
For example, this place you see is the El-Hazne temple.
It is a 10-story apartment building high, and its construction is built from top to bottom, not from bottom to top, and at the same time the city of Petra is hidden under the king's tomb. It was the center of the cross of the Arabs. How? The episodes you will be surprised by start now. Get ready. Kaaba. This is the holy place that you know today and is considered the center of Islam.
In fact, the Kaaba culture was a very common Kurdish one among pre-Islamic Arabs.
Deck. 26 different Kaaba known in Arabia today are still standing on their feet. In the past, idols and objects considered sacred in large cities were placed in a square or rectangular structure built in the center of the city and worshipped around it.
Pagans from different cities also used to perform their Hajj worship, and there is also a Kaaba in Petra,
one of the most important temples of the ancient Arab world.
At the moment, you are seeing the inscriptions dug into the walls by pagan Arabs who came to Petra thousands of years ago to become pilgrims. And you can also see the names of well-known Arab idols such as Lot, Manat, Uzza on the walls of Petra. One of the big secrets has been discovered in the past few years. None of the qiblas of the mosques built up to 800 years ago and which have come to the present day without restoration, that is, without changing at all. Look at the Kaaba in Mecca or Jerusalem.
Surprisingly, they all look at the mysterious city of Petra without deviating even a mile, and even more interestingly, even the famous Dome of the Sahara in Jerusalem is facing Petra in the same way.
Now let's try these together. Is it really so? Thanks to the satellite images in the Google Earth program, we are drawing a line from Capital Sahara to the Kaaba and Petra. The red line extends to Petra, and the yellow line extends to the Kaaba. Look, there is no deviation. The next mosque is the Baalbek Mosque. This is the Qibla wall, and the place he showed is Petra again.
However, in recent years, this mosque has been restored, and although the Qibla wall remains the same, the Qibla has been changed inside and turned into Mecca Umayyad Mosque. Today its remains are protected. His Qibla does not deviate from Petra by a mile in the same way.
The Qibla alignment of the mosque ruins with November al-Mushid is Petra again.
And dozens more like this are still being used, not just mosques.
Very old churches and synagogues were also consciously built facing Petra in the same way. You can also download the Google program or other satellite programs to your computer to test where the Qiblas of the first Muslim mosques look. And again, it is strange that the name Petra is a name pronounced by the Romans. The name given by the Arabs is Becca. I would like to draw your attention to how similar it is to the name Mecca, and now I will tell you about another unusual new find.
In a story mentioned in the Quran, it is described that the owners of elephants attacked the Kaaba. But it is impossible for elephants to come to Mecca.
There have never been elephants in the Arabian Peninsula at any time. Archaeologically and geographically, there is no trace of elephants in Arabia. Because an elephant needs between 1.5 to 2 tons of water per day to survive, and considering that this is a desert, at least 2 tons of water are required for each elephant per decile. It is impossible for elephants to exist in Saudi Arabia, where water resources are close to zero, to travel for weeks, months. But wait, look, there are some depictions on the walls of Petra. These are Indian elephants. Why are they here? Then listen carefully. Archaeologists tell the following about the history of Petra. When Alexander the Great was on his way, he sent his Iranian soldiers on an expedition against Petra with an army he built from elephants. While the army besieging the city with elephants was attacking, the siege was lifted when the news came that Alexander the Great had died of malaria, and the army had returned. Alexander was born in the year 356 BC. So Petra was a big and important city when he conquered these lands. It is quite natural that he sent his army here. And again there were waterways close to Petra at that time. At the same time, the statue of Alexander the Great still stands in Petra. Many Arab, British and American archaeologists and historians argue that there is no doubt that the elephant case described in the Quran happened in Petra, not Mecca. Even Ibn Hisham and Ibn Ishaq, who are accepted as important Islamic sources, wrote that the events took place in Petra. Wait, the secrets of the city of Petra are not over yet. There is a tomb in this city that Jews and Muslims consider common.
According to belief, this tomb is the tomb of the prophet Aaron, the brother of the prophet Moses. When the Jews fled from Pharaoh, when the prophet Moses split the sea, they took refuge in this hidden city with those who followed him. And they lived here for a while. In the Torah, it is told that the Jews who followed the prophet Moses lived in the desert for 40 years. Perhaps that place was the mysterious city of Petra.
Well, do you want me to tell you one of the ancient definitions used for Petra, the mother of all cities? The endless secrets of this city seem to have involved both Muslim and foreign archaeologists in a long and amazing research process. The history of the city of Petra dates back to 10,000 years BC. Of course, it wasn't such a complicated structure at that time.
It was probably the home of various tribes who lived only in the caves here. In the 400 years BC, it became the capital of the ancient people, the Nabataeans, who were believed by other Arabs to be descendants of the prophet Noah.
And again, it has become one of the most important trade centers of the entire Middle East.
In the 100 years after BC, disputes between the decadent kings, frequent earthquakes in the city and the Roman occupation of the region caused the new maritime trade network formed by Rome to lose its former importance of the city.
The Romans encouraged these successful merchants to work with them instead of destroying them, and the Nabataeans gradually left the city and settled in many different cities, such as Alexandria, Rome, Jerusalem, Medina.
However, they have preserved their culture for a long time, and even today we can see the tombs of the Nabataeans in these different geographies.
Now comes another piece of information that you will be surprised by. Get ready. Think about the biggest businessmen in today's world. Those are the richest ones. You know, there are many legends told about them. Yes, those names that you're thinking about.
Many of them accept that their origin comes from Nabataean camel, who spread from Petra to the world. I will continue in another video for the long process of telling the names and archaeological evidence of these people. Therefore, do not forget to stay with me as a subscriber.
And, of course, to follow me on Instagram. Wait, no, don't turn off the video yet.
Look, an old friend is still walking around here on the railway track built by the Ottomans. The Turkish flag is floating near Petra as a memory. However, during the Ottoman period, Petran's existence was only a rumor. And no one felt the need to search. Maybe if we had discovered, the flow of history could have decayed in a completely different direction. We have studied the mysterious city of Petra. Similar videos will come often. Have a nice trip.